Let's talk about the simple past tense. Here what's important to remember is when to use it properly. For the simple past tense, the time is important. There are some keywords that will help you, such as yesterday, a specific date in the past, the word ago, last week, last month, last year, etc. These are some examples. Now, you have to remember that there are two types of verbs in the simple past. They are called regular verbs. Regular verbs will end with ed. And irregular verbs that will have to be learned, they are on different lists in your dictionaries or your grammar. With regular verbs, there are certain spelling rules to respect. You have to know that most verbs will simply add ed to the verb. But when the verb ends with e, you simply add the d at the end. Example, move will add only the d. If you have a verb that ends with y, preceded by a vowel, you will add ed at the end. Example, play will become played. But if you have a consonant that is placed before the y, it will take ied. If I write study, it will become studied, ied. If you have a one-syllable verb, consonant, vowel, consonant, you double the last letter and then you add your ed. Example, if I write stop, it's a short verb, consonant, vowel, consonant. So it will become stopped, double the P. The structure of the affirmative sentence in the simple past is very simple to follow. You have your subject that comes before the verb. Now what you have to think, is my verb regular, ed, or is my verb irregular, so from the list? And then I add the object at the end. Example, I walked, walk is a regular verb, home. Or I went, which is the past of go, so irregular verb, I went home. Now to form the negative, this time you will need a little help, and it comes in the form of an auxiliary. In the simple past, this auxiliary is did. And then we're talking about negative form, so you need your keyword not after the auxiliary. You can always decide that you prefer using the contracted form, so you would have to spell didn't like this. Whenever you use the auxiliary, the verb has to be in the infinitive form, so not conjugated. Example, if I say, I did not, negative form, simple past, the verb walk will be in the infinitive form. The second example here, so I did not walk home, I took the bus instead, so here is the affirmative form, so my verb is irregular. In the second example, she did not, negative form, go is my main verb in the infinitive form. She did not go home, so then she played instead in the park. This verb is regular. Let's continue with the interrogative form, the yes-no questions. Now to ask a yes-no question, you still need your auxiliary, did, but this time it has to be placed first, and then the subject comes after. And then the main verb remember, has to be in the infinitive form, and if necessary, the object. As in the example, did you go home yesterday? That's my keyword. So auxiliary, subject, verb in the infinitive form. In the second example, it's the same thing. This time my verb is regular, but it doesn't change anything, only in the affirmative form. Auxiliary, subject, walk, my verb in the infinitive form, and then that's my keyword, last night. To answer a yes/no question, you need to use a short answer. So to do it, it depends. You have to use yes or no, depending if the answer is affirmative or negative. Then use the pronoun, and then the auxiliary, did or did not. As in the example, did he come to the party yesterday? Yes, he did. Or no, he did not. Tag questions are used to express an attitude, surprise, hope, interest about something that you think is true. So you want to be certain that it is true. So how it works is that you write your sentence as usual, then a comma, and then you use your tag auxiliary followed by the pronoun that is used in the sentence. So if in the sentence you used a subject, you will have to change it for the pronoun in the end. Example, if I say he invited Julie, so this is an affirmative sentence, that's why the tag is negative, as mentioned here. And then I used the same pronoun in the end and my question word. If my sentence is negative, it means that my tag has to be affirmative. And same thing, I use the same pronoun as before. So when the sentence is affirmative, the tag is negative. And when the sentence is negative, the tag is affirmative. It's always the other way around. Finally, the last type of question is information questions. You use that to get a more complete answer to a question you have. To do that, you must use your question words. We will review the question words right after. So, the pattern is exactly the same as it is for a yes/no question, meaning that you have to use your auxiliary before the subject, and then the verb, always in the infinitive form, and the object if necessary. The only difference is this, the question word that you have to place in the beginning. Example, where is a question word. You're looking for a place. Where, and then I have my auxiliary, my subject, my verb in the infinitive form, and then the object. You answer by a complete sentence. Where did you travel last summer? I traveled, simple past, regular verb. And then I have my answer to my question, where? To Florida last summer. Finally, let's take a look at the question words one more time. So you're looking for a person, use who. You're looking for a thing or talking about a situation, use what. For a place, use where. You're looking for a manner or way to do something, use how. For quantity, for countable nouns, use how many. If you use non-countable nouns, use how much. For a measure, for a time, use how long. For an age, use how old. For a size, how with an adjective, like big or small. And for a reason, use why.